What up everyone, it's your boy Jermaine back with another bike review video, and I am super stoked to review the Rad Power bike. Now this is my Rad Power bike. This is pretty much the bike that started my whole electric bike journey in San Francisco here. And oh man, there's so many stories with this bike. I just love this bike. This is one of my favorite bikes, and mainly because of the basket. This basket is very large. In the middle of the pandemic, I was delivering food for, I was delivering a lot of food. Like I would go to the grocery store and pick up food and stuff like that. And people would order like a lot of stuff. Sometimes people would order like, you know, four 12 packs of Coke. With this basket, that wasn't a problem at all. I just love this basket. It's for really large and really massive. Let's actually get up close, get close up to the bike here. Yeah, this basket can hold a lot of stuff, a lot of weight. It's very sturdy. I also got into a couple different accidents, and I want to say this basket helped those accidents quite a bit. One accident, this car like merged over, and when the car merged over, instead of the car hitting the wheel, the car hit the basket. By the car hitting the basket, it notified the driver, and you know, the accident wasn't as bad, and I didn't even fall over or anything. It just kind of scratched their car a little bit, but that's a whole lot better than me falling over and the driver getting the ticket, and on and on, and you know, the bike getting messed up. You know, everything worked out great in that situation. You might notice the colors. This bike did get stolen once. We were able to get it back. It got stolen outside of Target. People came out with some bolt cutters, snipped the lock, and ran off with the bike. I just did my part, shared it on social media, and told like pretty much every other bike messenger for that rest of the day. And people were out looking for it. 2 days later, someone sent me a photo of it. They saw some guy riding it. And then a couple days later after that, and actually a YouTube subscriber found it, messaged me, and I was able to get the bike back. So that was pretty cool. Once again, this bike has 5,860 miles, so we'll just say 5,800 miles on this one. And yeah, this is what it looks like after 5,800 miles. I'll kind of get up close so you guys can see it. When it got stolen, this got banged up a little bit, but it still works. Front brakes are still good. Back brakes, I definitely need to replace the cable on. It's something that I really don't know how to do, so I haven't done it yet, and I really haven't found a bike shop that can replace this. But I definitely need to replace this this cable line, because it's really sticky up in here. You know, it's really sticky when you try to pull it. Also, this throttle is pretty much through. It's pretty much, you know, my finger has eaten through it. This bike is also missing a chain. Right before this bike got stolen, interesting thing, when this bike got stolen, it had it was basically had no battery, right? And also when the bike got stolen, it was a chain on the bike, but the chain that was on the bike was not it wasn't working. Like you couldn't pedal the bike basically. So when the bike got stolen, they didn't have a charger for the bike, right? And they also did not have a they didn't have a charger for the bike, and then they couldn't fix the bike because of the chain. So it was kind of a useless bike for them. You know, they stole the battery. Luckily I had two batteries, because back then I was switching out the batteries. Right now, in this video, and this is how I ride the bike around, I got the battery covered up. I got some extra, I got a couple of extra layer of security for the battery. And you can see, you know, this bike has been locked up on the street, and someone actually tried to cut this open to see if there's a battery in here. Yeah, literally someone like tried to cut this thing as it was locked on the side of the street. This here is a much larger bike lock. This bike lock, it's kind of hard to recommend this bike lock to a lot of people, because this bike lock weighs about 15 pounds. But it's about 5 feet, so it's pretty long. You can wrap it around a pretty big pole. Back to the chain situation. I was trying to turn the bike around, but here we go. Let's talk about this chain situation, because once again, there is no chain on the bike. Right before the bike got stolen, it was I kind of had a problem with the chain, so I was trying to, you know, figure out the whole chain situation. Then the bike got stolen, and then when I got the bike back, they had like put a chain on the bike, but like the chain was not working, so I just took their chain off, and I said, I'm just gonna leave the bike like this. So that was I want to say that was about 4,000 miles, and the bike got stolen. So now, the bike is we got 6,000 miles on the bike, and it's still going strong. The motor still feels good for the most part. I've had a lot of flats with this bike. I'm just gonna keep it real. That's another reason why I was okay with not putting the chain back on, because whenever I have a flat, it's much easier to get to that back tire when you don't have to deal with the chain. Also, with these fenders, it also makes it much easier to get to the tire because you don't have to take the fenders off, which is pretty cool. Another thing about this back wheel, it just seems like it has a lot of flats. These tires, I'm just gonna keep it real, these tires are so freaking hard to get off once you have a flat. You can get them off, but like I say, they are very hard to get off once you have a flat, but you can definitely do it. They can be done. The back, I did have a basket. I did have this basket on the back for a little bit. Then I ended up moving it back to the front. I would love to get a basket for the back. However, Red Power don't sell this basket anymore. And someone told me they don't sell this basket anymore for safety reasons, like people had accidents or something with the basket. I have no idea how they did it, but if they sold more baskets like this, that would be amazing. Because I would literally put one on the back, or I even would put one like on another bike, because if I just had a very similar basket, I could just drill my own holes, so that's something else to throw out there. Yeah, once again, we are at 5,800 miles, 0.60, and I think this bike has a lot of life left in it. Now about the motor, I did say the motor was good, but for the most part, the motor's still not slipping. It's still maybe it doesn't feel as good as the first day, because now this bike is only motor driven because it doesn't have a chain, so the motor is working all the time. It just doesn't really ever get a break anymore, versus when someone's pedaling it, it's not as much work on the motor. But after 5,800 miles, I mean, I must admit, I love this thing. Like, I still love it. I must admit, I don't ride it as much as I used to, because there's just other bikes I ride. I do try to ride it every once in a while, at least like once a week, or a couple times, more than a couple times a month, 4 or 5 times a month or something. I do try to get out on it because I want to keep the batteries all good and stuff like that. One thing about these red bikes, I would say, like, if you're ever going to leave it outside for long periods of time, like, watch out with the battery. With me, like I say, I did cover the battery up, but I covered the battery up and I got some extra security underneath. I don't exactly want to expose it, but I got just an extra layer of security, so if someone, if they try to steal the battery quick, they can still steal it, but it's just going to slow them down a little bit longer. However, if you live in an area like suburbs and you don't live in a big city like San Francisco or New York, you won't even have to go to the extra extreme of hiding the battery. I just would use this bike for delivery purposes, and sometimes when you're doing deliveries, you might have to like leave your bike like downstairs at this one door, and then you might have to like go in a building and walk halfway down the block basically inside of this building, and then after that you have to like go upstairs on like the 20th floor, and then you come back downstairs, and by the time you come back down, it could have been 10 minutes. 10 minutes is plenty of time to steal a bike, rip a part off a bike or something like that. So that's just definitely something to throw out there. But for the most part, I like this bike. I'm digging it. It's definitely got a little bit more life ahead of it. The brakes, let's talk about the brakes really fast. That's something that people want to know. These brakes, I definitely use the front brake a whole lot more than the back brake on this bike. And the back brakes, I have switched out the back brakes here. This is not the original back brake that came with the bike. I ordered a replacement off Amazon and install this. It actually was a very easy install. Maybe I'll do a video when I install the front brake. I'll probably have to install the front brake pretty soon. Actually, I think the front brake may be okay for longer. I think the front brake may be better. Just this back brake here, you'll know when you need new brakes, because when you try to tighten your brake, like it literally won't move with the Allen key. and then you just basically need a new. You pretty much just need a new brake. So that's just something to throw out there if you ever had that problem. The kickstand. Now the thing with the kickstand, this bike does have a kickstand, but once again, when it got stolen, they took the kickstand off. Now before the bike got stolen, the kickstand, like, I actually needed a new kickstand. That's why I actually have the bike leaning up against the wall here. I needed a new kickstand, but it was I don't know why I never got one. It was this thing where I would take like hair ties and put them here, and the hair ties would kind of sometimes hold the kickstand up. But that means every time I wanted to use the kickstand, I would have to get off the bike and like undo the hair tie. Like I would literally have to get off the bike and like bend over and like to take it off the kickstand so I can use it. But like now I don't have to really do that anymore because I just don't have a kickstand anymore, and I haven't replaced the kickstand. The pedals, I have not replaced the pedals. These are the original pedals. These are some really, really good plastic pedals. No problem at all. That is one problem when you don't have a chain. Your wheels just sort of, your feet just spin, I know so many people have told me there's no way they could ride this bike because it doesn't have a chain. And I'm just thinking, I mean, you can just ride it like, ride it like a normal bike that's an electric bike with no chain. But I like the way it is. Yeah, it's a cool bike. And yeah, I'll definitely keep it in the collection. This is one I'm gonna hang on to for some time because, like I say, this one started the whole process, and there's a lot of memories with this bike, with it getting stolen and coming back, and all the crashes and all the close calls and all the rainy days. And yeah, I like this bike. This is a pretty cool bike. So anyway, guys, I am going to wrap this video up. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you guys want to get one of these Rad Power bikes, I'll have a link in the bottom in the description below. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I think they have probably switched up this bike because I got this bike like 3 or 4 years ago. That's why it kind of took me a while to rack up the miles, and I don't exactly ride it every day. I ride other bikes and stuff. So yeah, I think now on their website, they have it's probably upgraded, so maybe it's a little bit better than this bike. And yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I can't believe I've put like 5,800 miles plus on this bike. That's pretty amazing, pretty awesome. I love my Rad Power bike, yo. Rad on. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out, y'all.